If I was ever to be asked the question, have you ever met a real soldier? Well, my answer to that would be yes, very much so, actually. Very much so. Now, let's run down the list. My father was a real soldier. My grandfather was a real soldier, served in World War II in places like Burma, very messy during the war. My other grandfather was a soldier. It goes back further than that. If you go down the road, not far from my house, there's the war memorial there to both wars, which I've described before. One of my family members is on one of the panels, giving their life in the service of this country. So, oh yes, I've met proper soldiers and have things to do with them every day. That generation, of course, was very different to what we have now. They served their country out of a sense of pride, out of a sense of obligation, and felt they were doing their duty to each other and the country which they serve. But what they didn't see coming was how they would be treated afterwards, what benefits they would get, what help they would receive, particularly if they were injured. And they get dropped sometimes by even their own, which, to be honest, is pretty disgraceful. When I took this on, I didn't realise the, stones I would turn over and the mess I would find underneath them. You see, people start to come forward many, many times with many different stories. I've already heard from a retired army captain who was injured while in service, and he's been monitoring very much some of the comments and some of the feedback that have been going on in and around what we're actually speaking about. And he sent me an email as a follow-up, which I wanted to read to you, and I'll put it on the screen. I note from a couple of your viewers' comments the usual trope that it's easier for officers when dealing with forms and officials. The more educated you are, the easier you'll find it. It's got nothing to do with rank bias. Where there was a rank bias was that the IRA targeted me because I was the officer. Cut the head off the serpent, everyone else scatters, I suppose, is the theory. The real scandal about the war disablement pension was that prior to universal credit, recipients had it deducted from their other state benefits. So, for example, when I was entitled to £1,000 a month ESA, because I was getting £400 a month war disability pension, I was only given £600. Therefore, an injured service person only got the same as a work-shy layabout. Fortunately, it was Ian Duncan Smith, an ex-army officer, who designed universal credit, and he rectified that situation. However, if a soldier accepts a lump sum from the Armed Forces Compensation Scheme on discharge, good luck to him when applying for state benefits. If that AFCS payout is over £6,000, and he can forget state benefits altogether if it's over £16,000, it doesn't pay to be wounded in the service of your country, regardless of rank. Too blooming right from what I'm finding out. And the other thing as well, there's a recruitment crisis. Recruitment numbers are, a fair way down, and you'd struggle to, if you recalled every single service person to this country now and told them to stand in Wembley Stadium, I'm sure you'd have trouble filling it. It really is bad. And you think of the money that they're paid against the risk that they have to undertake. And also when you hear things like this, when they leave service, you have to wonder, what's the point? Very bad trouble. They need looking after. They need reverence where there is none. And they certainly shouldn't be left out on the streets. And they should be looking out for each other too, like they did on another field, on another street a lifetime ago. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have stories to tell, get in touch with me. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel for more updates on this. There's a video here for you. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.